Today I present you a drama about an introverted guy who, at the age of 43, still lives with his mother, plays board war games, is bullied at work, and meets love for the first time. I wish you pleasant viewing. A guy named Fusi works as a loader at the airport. He rolls along the concrete field, dragging behind him not only the burden of the past years and emotional baggage but also ordinary trolleys with suitcases. In his spare time, Fusi plays board war games, making tank formations according to history textbooks. In a toy store, he buys a brand new radio-controlled all-terrain vehicle and carries it home. At the entrance, the guy meets a neighbor girl who asks for whom he bought this toy, but he does not answer her. After opening the door, he finds his mother engaged in an intimate affair, and to avoid even more awkwardness, he leaves to test a toy car on a snowy street, where a neighbor girl is watching him. After making sure that the boyfriend named Rolf is gone, the guy returns home, and in the evening, Fusi goes to visit his friend Mortar. They play a game of war game, get high, and discuss the latest news, in particular what the guy caught his mother doing. The next morning, while shoveling snow outside, Fusi notices Rolf walking around his table and touching his figurines without asking. The guy goes inside to ask the man not to do that again and adjusts the battle formations of his plastic army. In response, the man advises the guy to pay more attention to real life than reconstructions and to try to find a girlfriend on the internet. At work, colleagues discuss Fusi behind his back. They take away his headphones to ask a question about his personal life, but the guy just walks away from the answer. Fusi's birthday is coming up, and his mother and stepfather give him a cowboy hat and a certificate for dancing lessons, where he will be able to meet new people. Returning from work, the guy sees a neighbor girl on the stairs who has lost her keys and cannot get home. He invites her to his place to feed, after which he allows the girl to play with his collectible figurines. Soon her father comes for her, and she says goodbye to her new friend. In the evening, Fusi's mother dresses him up for dance classes, despite his reluctance to go there. Having reached the hall, the guy looks at other students, sees how they are having fun, turns around, and leaves. He sits in the car, listening to the radio and talking on the phone, just waiting for the end of class. When everyone leaves, the guy notices a lonely girl, the last one to leave. The girl's name is Sofen. She approaches the car and asks for a ride home. On the way, she tries to talk, but the timid Fusi, who does not have enough experience in social interaction, answers inappropriately. He admits that he was also supposed to go to the dance today but did not dare. Then a fellow traveler invites him to come to the next lesson, and he awkwardly agrees. In the afternoon, when Fusi and Mortar are discussing tank models, Rolf asks how the classes went and asks to show him what he learned, but the guy's strange answers make the adults understand that he never went anywhere. After a hard day at work, Fusi is bullied again by his colleagues, who forcefully drag him into the shower to wash him. When he comes home, he paints his figurines to somehow distract himself. At some point, a neighbor girl rings the doorbell. She invites him to visit because, due to the fact that they have recently moved, she has no other friends. The girl asks the hero why he does not have a wife. Her father says that Fusi is crazy, but she thinks he's just shy. After that, the guy goes to the dance class and diligently repeats the movements of the teacher. After classes, Fusi invites Sofen to his favorite cafe, which he visits every Friday, and then they go to his favorite place on the coast, where the guy, using his friendship with a DJ, shyly gets out of the car and orders her favorite song on the radio. The song impresses the girl, but seeing that Fusi is still quite timid, Sofen herself invites him for tea. Unexpectedly for her, the guy refuses, citing the fact that he does not drink this noble drink. Having dropped off the girl, Fusi realizes that he was a little stupid, so he returns and rings the doorbell, offering to drink milk instead of tea. During the conversation, the girl is interested in where her new friend works, along the way telling that she herself loves traveling. The guy is not good at keeping up the conversation, but he returns home smiling happily. At work, one of the bully colleagues asks Fusi to see what's wrong with the car, and while the guy is picking under the hood, the bully apologizes for their trick in the shower. To make amends, he invites Fusi to a party, but his remorse is most likely due to the boss asking uncomfortable questions. During a visit to a friend, Fusi talks about his recent date, but Mortar says that the dating period is the most terrible for a man because you need to constantly come up with something to surprise a girl. Fusi remembers his friend's words and, aware of Sofen's passion for travel, goes to a travel agency to fly together to a place where it's warm and sunny. Then he goes to the flower shop where Sofen works, only to be told that she quit a long time ago. The guy goes to the girl's house to tell her the good news and finds her at the moment when she returns from work on the garbage truck. He rings the doorbell to talk, but the girl angrily slams the door on him. Then Fusi presses the call button again, says that he doesn't care where she works, and reassures the girl, after which he invites her to go with him to Egypt. The girl is interested in whether he ordered one number or two different ones and, just in case, adds that there can be nothing between them, which greatly upsets the man. On Saturday, Fusi goes to a party with his colleagues, which begins with a paintball match. Then they move into the apartment, drink, and wait for the arrival of the stripper. The invited girl puts on a professional show, and after the compulsory program, the guys pay the girl to sleep with Fusi. The hero refuses, but the guys again force him into the bedroom, but in anger, the guy easily defeats the bullies. In the morning, suffering from a hangover, Fusi asks his mother to call work and get him sick leave. Going out into the fresh air, he meets a neighbor girl who calls him to play, but the guy refuses. Now he plans to drive a car to the shore of the bay and listen to music. A little girl asks to ride with him, but the girl does not appreciate his long admiration of Scandinavian beauty and asks to go home. The girl's father has already called the police. He immediately calls Fusi a pervert and forbids him from approaching his daughter. The law enforcement officers invite the guy to the department, where an experienced employee asks him what exactly they are doing with the girl when she comes to visit him. Finding no corpus delicti or malicious intent, the officer releases the good-natured fat man. In the evening, after putting on a suit, Fusi goes to the dance again. He looks out for So-FN, but it seems that she did not come today. The next day, Fusi plays with a radio-controlled car in the yard. Local children run up to him, and the guy allows one boy to drive. The mother of the child notices that her son is hanging around with a fat man accused of pedophilia and orders him to go home immediately. Fusi, tormented by conflicting thoughts, goes to So-FN's house. Breaking the glass, he gets inside the apartment, where he sees complete chaos and the girl sitting locked in the closet. The guy tries to talk to her, but the girl asks him to leave. The hero almost obeys her will, but the hungry cat forces him to stay. After feeding the animal, Fusi falls asleep in a chair in front of the TV with the pet on his stomach. In the morning, he prepares breakfast, which he leaves in front of the closet door. After cleaning up the apartment, Fusi is about to leave, but his breakfast is still left untouched by anyone. At work, the guy asks for a few days off and, having received consent, returns to So-FN's apartment. He changes broken glass, prepares food, and tries to talk to his friend. Then the girl admits that she skipped work and is afraid that now she will be fired. Fusi goes to the junkyard to talk to her boss and offer to work his girlfriend's shifts. The guy returns to his friend, having bought her a huge bouquet along the way. He carefully opens the door, after which he lifts the sobbing girl. Comforting her that everything will be fine, he carefully washes her in the bathroom, makes sure that she eats, puts her to bed, and covers her with a blanket. At work, the hero sorts the garbage instead of the girl. The rest of the workers looked at him askance, but instead of bullying him, they invited him to watch football after work. Returning home, Fusi finds an upset mother who was abandoned by her boyfriend. She drips on his brains and tries to convince her son that he deserves more than a depressed garbage lady. During the next visit to So-FN, Fusi finds her in a good mood. She turned on the music and gladly makes repairs in her apartment. The guy again invites the girl to a cafe. They ride around the city, and at some point she shows him an old candy store where she would like to open her own flower shop. Finishing the last shift, Fusi drinks with new colleagues, who, although they play a joke on him, do it in an absolutely friendly way. When the guy returns to So-FN, she immediately jumps on him and drags him to bed. In the morning, Fusi wakes up in the same bed as the girl. They return to dance classes together, and for the first time, instead of a strict suit, the guy is dressed in a more appropriate outfit with a cowboy hat. So-FN reminisces about the trip they had planned earlier and also suggests that Fusi take their relationship to the next level and move in together. To the surprise of the girl, the guy refuses, arguing his choice by the fact that he cannot leave his mother in this state now. The girl is upset by his unwillingness to get out from under her mother's skirt, and she leaves. The guy catches up to her and tells her that he is ready to change his life for her sake. At home, he saws a table for a war game, collects toys in a box, and brings everything to a neighbor girl. The door is opened by her father because the girl is not at home. He accepts Fusi's gifts and apologizes to him for his suspicions. The best friend helps Fusi with the move. They move a lot of boxes of things to Sung's apartment, but she seems to be having a nervous breakdown again. She thinks that she is making a mistake moving in with a guy, and he has no choice but to move his things back home. Frustrated by what happened, Fusi sits in a room among the boxes. In the morning, while eating breakfast alone, he looks out the window, where a blizzard is blowing and the snow completely covers the ground, reminding him of how caring for So-FN completely overshadowed the introvert inside of him. At work at the airport, the guy looks at the happy travelers returning home with new emotions, after which he decides to renovate that old candy store, in which his best friend again helps him. Having finished transforming the store into a divine form, the hero puts the key to it, along with a note, in the girl's mailbox. In the next scene, a truck carrying passenger luggage is driving across the concrete field of the airfield, but this time Fusi is not driving. He is watching the car from above from the boarding corridor. Together with the rest of the passengers, he is preparing to go on a journey to a foreign and distant country. He gets on the plane, the runway goes by faster and faster, the plane takes off, and finally Fusi steps out of his comfort zone, breaks his connection with the past, and opens up to something new. And I'm very happy for this guy. If you like this recap, I recommend that you check out the recap of the drama Rust and Bone, which is linked to on the right. Thanks for watching.